Okay, guys, here we go. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? We got Robbie in the house. Robbie is number one today. Emperor Rex, number two. K-Head's in third place. And Chris Sevenbrook in fourth.
I don't know. You guys deserve something. That's super cool. Glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. So I just noticed Chris's tweet. Good evening, citizens. FEMA Region 4, Old Hickory, Tennessee. Yeah, I love Tennessee. I love so much of this country. I mean, I've been over about three-quarters of it. I still got a quarter to go and want to get to see it. Yes, happy solstice, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Skydra Deanna, great blessings for all this beautiful solstice time. K-Heads, good to see you. Christine Love, always a pleasure. Karma Docs in the house.
Wow, she's ahead of me.
Yep, she says she's picking up the rear, but you know, all I can say is it's in good hands with Karma Doc.
Yes, that's a good one. If you're picking up the rear and I'm running late, I'm in trouble.
And we have the lovely Miss Trina Phoenix with us. Great to see you, Trina. Again, prayers and what can we say? Everything with grace. Thank everybody for putting all their positive energy and prayers into Grace and her family.
Yes, indeed. So, and we all kind of send our love and our prayers and condolences to the family.
Yeah, and Renee O'Leary's in the house. Susan Donahue representing San Fran in the house. Regina representing Texas in the house.
Yay.
And then we have Shell B over in the Philippines. Well, welcome. Great to have you.
Awesome. We're filling right up. This is wonderful. Hello there, Ron. Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother Ron. There's a lot of stuff going down. Man. So I've shared with you guys, I recently, we've had just one vehicle, a truck, a full-size truck. Doesn't get the greatest gas mileage, but it's been great to us. And instead of, getting a full-size regular car or something else as the second vehicle, we just got real backup emergency in case gas prices end up going up to, I don't know, $12 a liter. I mean, could they get to be that crazy? Could they get to be like $30, $40 a gallon? I don't know, but we're going to find out, unfortunately, because we're going to touch on what they're doing over there. It seems like they are fixated on starting a lot of fires using a lot of gas and oil.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a mess out there. It's pretty bad. And is it all about them doing something, or could there be other earth effects going on that we're just unaware of that maybe they know about but we don't?
Renee, he had surgery, had heart surgery. They got him home from UCSF right now. Prayers again, positive energy that the recovery goes nice and smoothly.
Oh, for sure, indeed.
Gee, CRM lover for life. Who do you think Mabus is? If right now, if you asked me 30 years ago, I would have said Ray Mabus, who was an ambassador that the United States had. Now, I would say it's Mohammed bin Salman. That's my best guess. It's just a guess. With a little bit of a intuition thing. Ray Mavis was so obvious because that's literally his last name. And he was an ambassador to the Middle East for the United States. He's since either passed on or retired. But no, I think it's MBS. I think it's Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, just kind of watching things pan out, it's another intuitive thing. So we'll see.
Tracy Unger, hope everything is going well over there in New Zealand. We just had summer solstice. You must have had winter solstice. And I know New Zealand is probably one of the most beautiful pieces of land on the earth.
Oh my gosh, I would just absolutely love it there.
Love to see it. Our wonderful xenomorph is in the house, so now we can go and start. Okay, so there's at least one large tornado. I was just picking up some info from Max and Ryan Hall and all. It seems that there's an outbreak going on in Illinois. This is a large tornado by Dix, Illinois, 9 miles north of Mount Vernon. Illinois has set the record for the number of tornadoes in a year before this latest outbreak, which is adding to it. So there's a lot going on, and things are really, really changing. And as I've said so many times, it seemed like in 2017, when I started the channel, I started this channel originally, it was only going to be energy work. It was just going to be Qigong, distant healing, that type of stuff, going into yoga and things. But then somehow it branched off totally in a different direction that I didn't originally consciously intend. But, it was like a hunch. You could just see that things were weird. And we were going to an all new place. And I think these things that I've had these visions going back to high school. And we are in that time period now. Feels like 2017, things really, really ramped up. And I think we'll look back and we'll say, well, 2026 is when it really hit the fan.
Mm. It's just kind of ramping up and up and up, and now here we are. And when we put the information out there that what if these earth changes, or some of these earth changes, are technology? Boy, did we really pay for that one. That just was not the right thing to say. Neither was talking about the plague upon the land. Boy, that was another blow too. But we keep going because we have you guys backing us up.
Oh, Tracy says she has room for us. That would be awesome.
Awesome sauce.
Yes. Rosebud says fires here in the West. Yes, we're going to touch on some fires. Power was out for hours, internet going down. Yeah, be ready, because I think that, this is going to be the summer where we're going to have more longer outages and more frequent outages. It's just really, as we're saying, it's fixing to get a little crazy around here. So Fairfield, Illinois, this is Max talking about these tornadoes, this outbreak again. The whole tornado alley really seems to have shifted. There's a lot of things shifting. And I do think that before it's all said and done, there's going to be monumental earth changes that are legitimate earth changes, not necessarily technologically induced, as Cindy was alluding to. I do think that we've seen a lot of technology to this point. At some point, it's going to be Mother Earth wiping away the system that's been playing havoc on the Earth. I almost feel that the system tries to do everything it possibly can to irritate the Earth, just like parasites in the human body that cause the white blood cells to, take action and go and fight the invaders that are intruding and threatening the homeostasis of the body. Well, all the choices that have been made for us by our leadership on the planet, it seems like they always choose the most destructive things, the least harmonious things, the things that are going to cause the greatest response from the earth herself.
It's just like when they talk about breast cancer and you see the pink ribbon, why don't they take the funds that they're using to try to cure breast cancer, and they use those funds to make sure that people are getting healthy food and they're taking out the toxins that actually cause the breast cancer? I mean, what a concept. What if we were able to turn it around to that degree? um wow, that would be wonderful if we could all be healthy and clean and clear headed, and, have our nervous systems be in alignment and calm and be able to sleep. Oh my gosh. Right now to think about that is just a dream, but my gosh, that's how manifestation happens.
Well, Tracy, that would be a blast. We would love to have you as our tour guide and take us to Castle Rock. Oh, that would be so much fun to explore the energy down there. Renee says, everybody I know is feeling dizzy, feels like altitude sickness. Can relate. You know, it's been a huge roller coaster. I think we're all getting more sensitive. I think we're all getting more empathetic. So we are going to be sensing the changes and feel the changes. And I think the changes are real and they are increasing pretty fast now. We are definitely moving into the fast lane. Um, and a lot of you guys are near these things that are scary. You know, Renee says low burning solar panels with 56 lithium forklifts inside, still burning 96 hours now in Los Angeles. We covered that like, 3 days ago and it's still burning. We're going to talk about the fires in Utah too. There's just like all this stuff going on. And then we have things getting hot in the Middle East again. Powerful explosion reported at Ras Laffan Industrial City in Qatar. It's their largest gas facility. The blast was so strong it felt like an earthquake. It was heard in another country, in Bahrain. Yeah, it's not a good situation. 5 of the 7 oil tanks located at the terminal in the Russian-occupied city of Kerch on the coast of the Crimean Peninsula, along with several vessels in the Kerch Strait, were set ablaze following overnight drone strikes from Ukraine. You know, we say this and, strikes from Ukraine. Who's really doing that? Who is really doing it? Is it really Zelensky making any of these decisions himself? Or, I mean, is it really coming from who's giving the orders? Is it really coming from some of the biggest military industrial corporations that exist because they want more profits, and this is really the reality of this world that we're in. Israel strikes Iran's oil refineries in response. Iran threatens to completely shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Global energy markets are bracing for a massive shockwave. As I just watched the gas drift down in our area to like 310-ish. It was quite a bit higher than that. Literally, guys, honestly, we if we're not traveling, going across country, we're pretty much homebodies. And literally one fill up a month is really all that we do. We fill the truck up once a month and that's really pretty much it. There's a deer jumping by the window again. This is, we know that they're not going to get a peace agreement in effect. It just doesn't fit into the script. As a young buck is over here by the window, he's got his little antlers coming in. He's a cute one there. Meanwhile, pay attention to this because I was going to share that if Trump did get control of Cuba before the United States itself is directly attacked, then that would definitely have changed the Paris, what I had seen in my visions, because I had visions that clearly showed to me that Cuba is used as a launching stage to invade the United States, to literally invade the United States. Now, we could be in a different timeline at this point, but sometimes it almost feels like there's certain parts of the timeline that has to happen. I don't know if there's like all the details can be changed, but is it true that there's certain key events that you can't get around? I don't know what you guys think of that. But I had very, very clear visions that showed me that, again, Cuba was a launching pad and they literally came over China, Russia, and numerous other countries with them from Cuba and invaded literally Florida in the visions I had that go back to the 80s. So if Trump was to take over Cuba before that could happen, that would look to me like we've really changed a big trajectory. But what this is talking about, and this is Zero Hedge, China's Caribbean listening pose. Satellite imagery shows Cuba spy base is completed. China, a Chinese spy base is completed here. As you see, it's south of Havana. Um, and yeah, there's Chinese and Russian troops in Cuba. There's U.S. troops over Guantanamo Bay, which is in Cuba. But here you go. This particular area, it's only 240 miles from Miami, Florida. And I remembered in the vision I had, it was like we were getting these messages that they were crossing. They were literally crossing the Everglades. I've gone across the Everglades. Really, it was kind of creepy. Honestly, the energy in the Everglades was really interesting. Definitely a very, very cryptid type of vibe down there. But this is talking about the DC-based think tank added that the site may be linked to China, could be used to track sensitive U.S. military and communications activity across the Caribbean, the Gulf of America, and southeastern U.S. So as you can see, they're showing right here, over the last 2 years, an antenna field at the northeast end of the facility has been converted from a linear antenna grid to a CDAA. And you can see they've made progress, and how much are they able to literally listen into us from that location, which is again, Cuba to the outskirts of Florida is only 90 miles, so not very far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that.
There is. So again, it just feels that if Trump did take over Cuba before it was able to be used against the U.S., it would be a shifting of timelines in a big way. Not that we want any war, because again, the war is part of the purpose of war is just to keep the population in a certain place, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, it's huge, huge.
Peace talks fail in Switzerland, as we know. Iran walks out of negotiations. Yeah, not a good thing going on right now. Not unexpected though. Meanwhile, sidewalk suddenly collapses. Massive sinkhole opens below. Look at this. $5-meter deep sinkhole. If this was the only sinkhole we're going to look at, yeah, it happens. The ground's shifting in many areas. There's going to be some major, major movements ahead. When I just looked, the biggest quake we had out there was about a 5. Relatively quiet at this point in time. But when you get a day where the highest earthquake is a 5, usually you're going to end up getting something 7 or bigger sooner or later.
Thank you so much, Miss Elantra.
Elantra, thank you so much. Much love to you and everybody. Drivers near Blackstone in Omaha may encounter delays after a sinkhole was reported near 38th and Farnham. City crews responding to the area, and here you can see another sinkhole coming in. It's the number of them that are taking place, and some of them are very big. This is Illinois, which is having a lot of tornado activity. Look at this. It just swallowed up half of a soccer field. This is a weird one.
It is a weird one. And then there's another one, and they talk about that one happening on I-44, but we couldn't find anything on that one. It was weird.
Yeah, I definitely got the feeling like they're hiding certain things. Like it was tough to find some info on some airplane issues, which we've been touching on, and yet there's more. But wait, there's more. So yeah, this one right here, swallowing up a soccer field, Illinois. Let's just take a look and see what the quakes are showing. obviously, New Madrid. The New Madrid is New Madrid waking up. Um, okay, so what we have right now is really very quiet. Only 188 quakes in 24 hours, and yeah, your biggest one is there's two of them that are 5.0. So yeah, I would bet you that probably will have something around the 7 within 24 hours or so somewhere. It's really really interesting to think about all the changes going on, and if we look at the last 7 days, a little bit of swarming in New Madrid. There was 12 over there, and over the last month, 32. I would say it's not exceptional, but this is unusual. These sinkholes. And this one right here, this is in China, Shanghai. This is just massive. If you think back to just what we've seen in the past like several months, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. It just seems like it's speeding up. This one's in Thailand. Look at this one. That's massive. And then, of course, we've had big earthquakes in the area too. So things are definitely ramping up.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that just so frightening? It's just falling. I think I would get out of there a lot faster. I wouldn't even remotely be there. I can't imagine. And, then the other ones that it's just not frontline news where it should be. These sinkholes right there in St. Louis and other places, Illinois. It should be right there and not very difficult to find. We just maybe we can find something on it now, but earlier when we were looking around, we couldn't find anything. It just seems so odd. It should be all over the place.
Well, it wasn't on X, but okay, so here you go. Yeah, massive sinkhole. Wow, that's a big one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this was Saturday, June 13th, beneath Interstate 44 near Broadway and Biddle Street, just blocks away from the Dome at America's Center. The collapse was caused by a failure of a 100-year-old 20-inch water pipe main, which subsequently triggered breaks in the adjacent 12-inch and 10-inch pipes. So, yeah, literally, you have I-44 closed in both directions through downtown St. Louis until further notice. Is it the New Madrid? Is it the New Madrid? Remember when we were talking about all the water in the Mississippi River that seemed to be just disappearing? And only in one stretch, again, that could indicate something going on in the New Madrid. Here's St. Louis, and this is there's Cape Girardeau. So, this is the area that we're talking about. In my mind, it could be related. It really could be related. So, yeah, sinkholes and more sinkholes. How about plane crashes? There's a tragic plane crash in Maryland. 3 people dead after a small training aircraft went down west of Annapolis, near homes and a playground. Plane was flying from New Jersey. The NTSB and the FAA are investigating. Prayers for the families and all affected. There's been so many of these. There's so many of these. And then a lot of times after the fact, we find that people that were, rich and famous are often on board. Remember the helicopters with like 2 YouTubers? And then, as we were talking about, one of the YouTubers apparently was saying a lot of things that would certainly tick off that group that starts with an I and ends with an I. There's more and more videos of that coming out. So more and more people are thinking that somebody might have done something to cause it. Here is Ubisoft co-founder Claude Guillemot. He died on a plane crash a couple days after Tay Keith and Oliver Treed died. They all died the same way. Yeah, did they leak stuff? Did they leak stuff that put bullseyes on them? A crew of an American Airlines A320 N111 US operating flight AA3046 from Charlotte to Philly requested law enforcement and EMTs to meet the aircraft on arrival after a passenger in his 70s reportedly bit another passenger and began trying to fight everybody. The pilot told ATC the individual might be hallucinating. Wait a minute, he's in his 70s. I don't know. Was he having a medical condition, a stroke or something? What's really going on here? There's some weird things going on.
Yeah, that feels really, really creepy. And I know you guys were asking in the chat, what's going on to have all these sinkholes take hold. And I really do believe when it comes to weather, I think that could be engineered when we're looking at rain and floods and things like that. But when it comes to the sinkholes, I really believe that that is a change in frequency, and Earth is readjusting herself, because I see that in so many humans too. I think it's a frequency adjustment. If the neck gets sore, you have joints that were previously not sore, then suddenly they're sore. Or if something falls out of place, goes into place, pops out of place, pops back in. These are all signs of frequency adjustments. And long time ago when 3i Atlas came by, I really sensed that it was putting off a new frequency. And when frequency is changed around your body, it takes time for that to play out. So we could be seeing things still playing out from a long time ago when 3i Atlas came by, because that's just the way energy is. It's very subtle, and the more subtle it is, the more powerful it is.
So I see talk about a crop circle.
Yeah, 3i Atlas.
Let's see if we could see anything on this.
Crop circle out like the day after.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Rob said. I forgot about that. He mentioned it. The 3 eyes.
Oh. Wow. Well, I mean, you could take them as angels too. You could take it as a lot of things, but I could see that. This one anyway. This one's down by Stonehenge. It's an interesting shape. Interesting shape for sure. Yeah, there's so much going on, guys. 3 eyes or 3 observers. Interlocked, yes. And our third eyes are awakening. Was it Renee? Somebody was saying earlier, feeling dizzy and feeling spacey and, like you're floating. To me, I would take that also as a sign of your pineal gland expanding.
Yeah, that could be. It's definitely something you want to keep an eye on. However, it can be a pineal gland expansion if you're doing any kind of detoxing, and that pineal gland starts to break out of its shell that it was in. You could feel things like that. So all of these things you definitely want to keep a close eye on and just monitor your health. And something that can really help expand that pineal gland and help it heal is plenty of really good clean water, and make sure you're getting all of your omegas.
So an engineer marking his wedding anniversary, service members, Boeing employees are among the victims of the B-52 bomber crash. A flight test engineer teaching his daughter to drive, a husband who just marked his 4th wedding anniversary, and weapons system officer eagerly anticipating the flight were among those killed when that B-52 Stratofortress crashed shortly after takeoff in Southern California. They released the names of all 8 victims: Colonel Gregory Watson, 53, of Shreveport, Louisiana, and then you have Lieutenant Colonel Gabriela Estrella, 40, and then you have another Lieutenant Colonel. When you think about this, I don't know what's up with that. I forget what you felt into this. I think we were kind of feeling like this could have been some sort of targeted, maybe directed energy weapon or something, maybe some sort of interference. Again, there is a Cold War as well as a hot war underway.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely something. They knew something. They knew something and could not be trusted to sit on it, or they were caught already leaking the information out, maybe even to loved ones. So one thing I can say with pretty good confidence right now is when it comes to our phones and privacy, we have none. Absolutely none. So this is very unfortunate. It just feels like they definitely knew something for sure.
Well, the world is waking up, and the world's been waking up for a while now. And, there's a lot going on with disclosure. Fox News captured a glowing red orb flying steadily over the desert near Edwards Air Force Base on June 15th during live coverage of that B-52 crash. So, wait a minute here. So, again, we have technology that the average people don't understand. That the military possesses. Again, we are hundreds of years more advanced than maybe thousands than they let us think we are. So is it like different factions within, in some cases, within our own militaries in the plural, and in other countries too? What is this now? Is this an ultra terrestrial? Is this perhaps Russian, Chinese, or is this, again, who is this? The reptilians? Is it, the Pleiadians, etc., the fallen Pleiadians? It's curious that this shows up and you have this type of thing being seen, and now we have video. When you had that fatal B-52 crash, something like this was right there. Just looking at your guys' comments. Yeah, it's just wild times. And the Iron Fire is mapping at 21,935 acres. This is, again, Utah. Firefighters securing the perimeter near Eureka. Evacuations remain in place. There's just so much going on when we're talking about the wildfires. And we were talking about that situation in Los Angeles itself, been burning for like 4 days now. And then we have the geopolitical side of things, which is hot as well. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer expected to resign on Monday. Keir Starmer's premiership appears to have entered its final act just over a week after Andy Burnham stormed back into Parliament with a crushing by-election win. The Prime Minister is, according to senior Labour figures cited by The Observer, preparing to set out a timetable for his own departure with a clear statement, possibly as early as Monday. Here you see President Trump confirms Keir Starmer is resigning as Prime Minister before Starmer has confirmed it himself. Again, it's just loss of another actor, and not a very good one either when you look at it. These guys, just think about this, because Trudeau's out, so we don't think about Trudeau. Jacinda Ardern, she's out. We don't really think about her anymore. But as humanity awakens to all that's been done against humanity, how are we ever going to Not that you should ever want retribution, but at the same time, there has to be accountability for crimes against humanity.
There's got to be something at some point. There's got to be some type of karmic karma at play eventually. Karma doesn't necessarily work from point A to point B. It kind of works all the way around the place in history and in the future. So karma is very, very interesting the way it works. I would say we are definitely due some back pay here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, this is just another one that it will bite the dust. As you can see, the result of British people rising up. Yeah, protests, keep doing it. Let's force this system completely out of power and again, not allow another system to replace it that's even worse. We certainly don't want that. And that is absolutely what they're trying to set up.
Yeah, it's a mess what they're trying to set up.
So, yeah, power to the people. Here you go, protests, and maybe we won't have to look at Keir Starmer anymore. Meanwhile, in Albania, the Albanians tore down barriers at Kokomi Beach in southern Albania, declaring that the country's beaches belong to people, not oligarchs. As opposition to the controversial Kushner-Trump resort project intensifies, public anger is spreading over to the privatization of public land and protected coastal areas. Albania is not for sale. Yes. Again, when we switch from the left to the right, but we still have the same elite group that's running the show, and it's just, one side of it gets to bitch and moan and just lay low until, people get tired of that side and then put the other ones in power, and then the same thing happens, and it's just going back and forth. Again, lesser of two evils. No, it's time to just get rid of all the evils. Force them out and get real change. You're not going to get real change with the laws that are in place right now in the United States, for instance, because you have to be rich, or you have to have people that are rich, really rich, like billionaire rich, supporting you in order to get elected. It's who has the most monetary support is typically the case. And again, there's sometimes exceptions to that when, as we know, things can not be counted properly. You get the point with that. We have to change the way we do things entirely. There should be no such thing as bribery. And we have a whole system in place. There's people that are lobbyists. These are people that their whole job is all about corruption and bribes. That's all they do. This is just ridiculous. We have to change the whole system.
I know. And, one thing that feels very encouraging is I'm hearing more and more that people are really turning on the AI. They're not wanting it. The only ones that are really wanting it right now are the larger companies, because they think that it might save them money, but they're learning that they still need the oversight, and sometimes they're having to bring back people because the AI comes in and screws everything up, and then they need to bring people back to adjust it. So that's going well. Hopefully that rollout will continue to dissolve. All we can do is keep praying.
Yeah. So, this is from 47. While claiming to fight corruption, Newsom solicited $340 million from special interests for allies. Again, what they were doing, rolling out their thoughts about how to rebuild Gaza was just as nauseating. This is the reality. They all, in my opinion, they all stink. They're all rotten to the core, and that none of them should be employed in positions that they're in. Again, when you put the most corrupt people into these positions, well, the outcome is pretty obvious. So we need to look to put people into positions of importance that are incorruptible. And again, you could do that by just taking away the monetary incentives, because this is what these people do. You know, if you get into Congress with a $200,000 or $120,000 salary, but you know you're going to have the opportunity to make tens or hundreds of millions because of being in a position where people are going to be looking to bribe you all day long. This is the type of the people that gravitate and manage to worm their way into these again positions. They're the most corrupt people in the world, and the system has done that. The system has made that the case because, again, you know, we understand that it's really the bankers, it's the corporations. You know, they're just again finding who's going to work with them and give them all their interests for bribes, and then that's it. They'll push them on through.
That's how it goes.
It is, you know, again, we have to eliminate that whole left right thing, because as long as they do that, we're just going to be going back and forth between one bad group and the other bad group. So Iran just fully closed the Strait of Hormuz again. Ceasefire agreement was violated. Passage is closed to all ships and oil tankers. Yeah, this is the time too where the Polish psychic had saw that things are going to start to ramp up, and there are some that think next year, 2027, is the year of direct confrontation with the U.S. directly squaring off against China and Russia. It could be this year too. You know, again, things are moving very, very fast. And then we have the craziness in Brazil. You know, again, that message: humans, we have arrived. Brazilians literally getting alien invasion alerts after some psychic said that on the 24th, in 3 days, there's going to be some sort of mass abduction. Was it the beginning of the rapture where they're going to be just harvesting humans? Obviously some people take this as a joke, but other people don't. And other people, I think, are secretly terrified of the possibility of advanced beings with a lot more technology than we have showing up.
You know, it's we know it's there, but I think if they have something like that roll out where they do it over our phones, on our phones, I don't trust that. I don't trust that at all. I trust very, very little when it comes, if they say there's an alien invasion, because I believe that these beings are very benevolent. The real beings, I think they're from this earth, from inner earth, or just outside of the perimeters that we are stuck in. And I think the frequency is getting to be as such where those from inner earth and outside of this realm can come in and visit us. Anything that they show on a phone, something like that, I don't trust it. I'm just gonna go, yeah, right. Or, yeah, right. The fake alien invasion right before World War III.
Yeah, and again, I think when people hear that, they think, okay, so you don't believe that there's aliens. No, we know there's aliens, yeah, or there are beings that are on this planet. Some have been here for countless generations. Others come and go. But there are way more advanced beings than us here, technologically and understanding also, and just simply how the universe works. Sin Havoc thinks it's this year. It could very well be this year. It feels too. Everything seems to be kind of in place. The NSA confirms Anthropic's Mythos AI broke into almost all classified systems in hours. According to Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Senator Mark Warner, NSA and Cyber Command leadership revealed the powerful AI model penetrated nearly every classified network during testing, not over weeks, but just in hours. You know, it's so interesting to see what's going on and how people are reacting GM replaces over 1,000 workers with just 50 robots at a flagship Detroit plant. Yeah, we're being replaced. We are literally, they are replacing humans with AI, and people are not happy about it. Americans have turned against AI in incredible numbers. All right, who thinks that AI is a good thing? Not that many people, it turns out. Well, maybe they needed somebody to. They needed somebody to proofread this because yeah. Anyway, it's true. And this is saying 49% of adults who say they use AI chatbots like ChatGPT, which remains the most popular by a considerable margin, with a quarter saying they use it daily. The proportion is considerably higher than the 33% of American adults who said they used AI chatbots in 2024. So the tech is being widespread adopted, but people are trusting it less and less. And people are also believing that it's overall a negative thing in more numbers. So here you go. Generation Z adults, 18 to 29, were the most wary of AI, 48% believing it's negative for society, yet they're also the group that reported using it the most at 66%. 30 to 49-year-olds in the 50 and up brackets are more closely aligned, 39% and 37% respectively, viewing it as negative. They're using AI less. You know, I think people are really tired too of the AI YouTube channels in some ways. People are tired of the fact that there seems to be a push by the AI to promote AI channels and not human channels.
I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that AI is going to promote itself in every way. And then where does that leave us? And, the AI channels, they're so very sterile, and you can tell which ones are AI, and they don't even have to remotely be accurate. They just throw out there. Yeah, they're very sterile. You can just look down and you can see on the little lower left, you can see where it says AI, that it's written by AI. And then you can also sense it where it just senses so mundane and boring. And the thing that bothers me the most, though, is that there needs to be no facts. There needs to be no corrections. They can just kind of say whatever they want, and people are going to believe it because they think AI is some sort of official authority on something, and it's not. That's scary. And people are just blindly trusting it still, day after day after day. They watch it and watch it, and they think there's some fact to it. I think if people could stand back a minute and realize that this is just, it's dangerous to me in many ways, because slowly but surely, maybe people start gaining some sort of trust, but then AI takes a hold of that trust and starts to lead people astray. I mean, that wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, you have probably tens of thousands, maybe it's hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many channels are popping up, but you'll find the same phrases over and over. Okay, and here is where the story gets much darker, or take a moment, go subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and then this is where it gets more, yeah, this is the good part. I mean, they use these same phrases over and over and over. Yeah, and this is what changes everything.
Yeah, and it changes nothing. And they say nothing.
Yeah, it's just pretty wild. And we're looking up at all these unusual lights. Faulty bulbs, or what's going on as you see the strange lights, the blue lights. We are in the process of getting rid of all our LEDs.
Yeah.
I've been replacing them with incandescent again, going back to the incandescent. Because I really do think that the LEDs mess with your pineal gland.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. So, we're just doing it slowly, because we don't have a lot to just kind of do everything all at once. So we just kind of go when we can, we get the bulbs in and we replace them as we can. But, I think it's so disturbing that the LEDs, if they break, I mean, you're supposed to put on a hazmat suit and a mask and call some hazard company to have it cleaned up. I mean, come on. Why do we have those in our houses and then they're saying the incandescent those are somehow bad and the LEDs are somehow okay when they can cause seizures and headaches. And I mean, my brain does not do well on them. I do not do well. I'd rather sit there with a flashlight than use a lamp with an LED. But that's just kind of where we're at. We need to go back in time to be healthier and stronger and better.
So I saw Crypto Geezer was talking about Shisandra Berry. Are you familiar with that, sweetie?
Well,
Shisandra Berry?
no.
Yeah, being good for the third eye. This is one, okay, so it's in TCM.
Looks like we have it, though. It's very familiar.
It's an adaptogen, stress and energy support, liver health, cognitive function. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to look into this. Yeah, it can be used as a medicine in traditional Chinese medicine. May influence the progression of Alzheimer's. Could block formation of excess amyloid beta peptides in the brain. Could be helpful with liver disease. Could help with menopause. I thought I had heard of that before. Antidepressant effect on mice. So interesting. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Crypto Geezer. Again, always interesting to run into something that is totally new to you, pretty much.
Well, yeah, new and helpful. And I think we all should know about 10 native plants in our area that can do all of the healing. There's a ton of plants that do a ton of things, but if you can find them in your area, they're probably they're probably better for you. Your body will accept them better because, well, again, it's in your area.
Excel and Knights of Malta is saying even the fluorescent incandescents can emit frequency. Yeah. We do have probably enough candle holders to hold like 50 candles, and that was actually something I had done before, was try to have candles set up in all the different rooms in the house. When we were in New Mexico, man, it was just like a different world because we were in just a 550 square foot little hut, but it was about 2 feet down into the ground. And, the bedroom walls were about 18 inches thick, all concrete, cement. It was really just amazing. And it was all stone floors. It was the most peaceful sleep we've ever had. And, we did not even get a phone signal there. So when we unplugged the router, there was nothing, no EMF. And it was amazing. And the ability to contact the guides there was superior. And same thing with meditation. It was just incredibly superior.
Yeah, it was so grounding, but it was 3 feet into the ground.
Yeah, it was really awesome. A civilization far more advanced than ours was wiped out here. Yeah, absolutely. More people are, again, figuring that there's just something wrong here. I mean, we've had very advanced gadgets in the past. Some are super cool. And, I think a lot of things have been misrepresented. Again, a lot of the cones and spires on buildings were for pulling the ether, pulling the energy right out of the ether. Free energy was very, very real. They've tried to hide that. There are just even engines that run completely on water that they've tried to, again, hide because they want us living in a toxic world. The world, when you use everything that's so toxic, it's going to cause problems with your health. It's also going to cause problems with the reactions of the earth itself. There's just so much that has been hidden from us, but it's all coming out. We get to see all this come out at this point in time.
I know. I think it's great. We need to. We deserve to. We've been kept in the dark long enough.
Dan's in his underground adobe room, 68 degrees, no AC. That sounds perfect.
Oh, wow. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just wild to think about all those things. I hope everybody got time to spend time today with their loved ones, especially all the fathers out there. And, again, happy belated Mother's Day, too, for all the mothers out there that we missed, last month.
Yeah, I think I missed it too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to get out there and play. Energetically, again, I think we are at a period of great change. We could sense it. You guys feel it, right? I mean, you feel the difference in the energy, the difference in reality. There's a lot of, I'm sure, there's a lot of pineal expansion going on with this group. Big time. This is part of us getting ready for what's to come. Our bodies are getting ready. Frankie, big blue puppy, thank you so much, as always, for your support and your love and being part of this family. Again, I know you've been with us at least 6-7 years. It's been a long time. And people are waking up to plant medicine, too, as Cindy's going to give us some dings. Yeah, I think, again, you could find anything you need in nature. And nature has put in, and thank you, Jen, for the Happy Father's Day. Nature has put in things to buffer. So when you look at what science does, science isolates and then changes something so they can simply patent it. And then, of course, ultimately make money off of it. That's really the purpose. We're waking up to that. And, here we are. Mother Nature has everything we need. Sen Havoc was saying, did you see the sirens coming from the oceans? No, I don't think so. I think we missed that.
Kind of far away from the ocean.
Yeah, we're several hundred miles inland. But boy, I miss the ocean. Garrett, definitely miss it.
Yeah, I just need to drag him back to the desert so he can sniff the sand, because it's the same as the ocean. You're just missing the water.
Yeah. We'll have to look into that, Sin Havoc. Sirens coming from the oceans. Interesting. Cindy's going to give us some dings, and we're going to thank you guys, as always, for your support and your love. Thank you for being part of this family.
Yes, and a huge thank you to Miss Elantra and Frankie for your support today. Also, we're still pulling for Karma Doc with her farm. We really are putting our energy toward that. It's very important for everyone who's being affected by these data centers. It's just, it's front and center. It's destroying lives. It's very damaging. So we're going to, put the energy and the love out there for those who are fighting that, to give them support and love and guidance. However they need it, let them have it. Let that guidance go, and let it just kind of surround them all over, and give them the wisdom and understanding and the right direction and the grace to get everything done that they need, so their lives can be so they can be okay, so they can live in peace, so they can do what they want, so they don't have to be bothered by all this crap that we really don't need here. So I really want to put that out there. I'm very passionate about it. And also all of our family members in Utah, we have a few being affected by the wildfires. Let's bring them stability for whatever is going on, and hopefully no one has to evacuate. So definitely a lot of prayers out for our family members in Utah and other areas too. Southern California, where the fires are going on there. So just want to really send everyone our love and our peace, and let's do some dings here. You guys are amazing and wonderful, and thank you so much for your support.
Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may my thoughts, words, acts, and deeds contribute to the happiness and freedom of all. Thank you guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. Source bless and namaste.